Come spend a couple weeks with me living the Canadian cottage life. And when I'm on vacation, I like to bake. It's calming, I can be creative, and there are usually extra mouths around that can enjoy what I make. First up, I'm making a simple crumble to top my cake, and we'll be including some oats in it for texture. Adding our spices, and then we're just gonna mix it all together. Now we're going to make the batter, starting off by mashing a banana, and to that we're going to add vegan butter and sugar. Give that all a good mix. Now I'm going to add the remaining ingredients to make this cake batter. Including that milk. I know it looks like I didn't add it, but I added that as well. And we'll mix it all together to create a thick, silky batter. Grease your pan, and now for the star of the dessert, mulberries that I picked and brought from home. I'm going to add them to the batter, and we'll fold them in gently to avoid crushing the berries. After smoothing the batter into the pan, we can top with the crumble that we made earlier, distributing it in large, crumbly pieces across the cake. After it bakes, the house is filled with the smell of warming spices, sugar, and fruit. It's perfect with morning coffee. Next up, I decided to try bringing the outside in with some s'mores cookies. Placing half a marshmallow in the middle of a cookie seems a little gimmicky to me, but it's vacation baking, so I can do whatever. First, we made the cookie dough by combining all the ingredients for chocolate chip cookies. Once the dough was ready, I oiled my hands so the dough wouldn't stick to them. I used the same technique that I would later use to make some bean-filled pupusas. I rolled the dough into a ball in my hands and then gently flattened it. In the center, I put half a marshmallow, these are the vegan ones from Trader Joe's, and closed the dough around the marshmallow, forming it back into a ball. Then I gently flattened it onto the tray. After debating bake time a little bit, I went with 15 minutes, and they were off to the oven. And yes, these were a little bit gimmicky, but so delicious. Chewy cookies filled with molten chocolate and stretchy, gooey marshmallows in the center. If we're being honest, it's a good bit better than a s'more. This sour cherry tree was the inspiration behind a lot of my bakes this week. After careful negotiations with the birds, I brought in my haul and started to process them. I removed the stems and then used a straw to remove the pit from the cherry. I mixed the cherry pits with sugar, and after letting them sit for about a day, I heated it to create a syrup, straining away the pits at the same time. It tastes like almonds and a little bit like cherry. For today's bake, I'm making cherry pie bars. I'm pre-cooking the filling, which is made with sour cherries and sugar. After the cherries release some moisture, I'll mix that with cornstarch and return it to the pot to thicken. Now onto the base of my bars, which is going to be used both as the base and as the top layer. I mixed butter, brown sugar, flour, oats, and some spices together. I added about 2/3 of this mixture to the bottom of my baking dish, which I flattened well with a drinking glass and then pre-baked. I wanted a little bit of textural variation, so I chopped some nuts and added them to what was left of the base that I'd made. To assemble the bars, I added the gooey cherry filling on top of the baked crust. I then sprinkled the nutty topping on top of that and got a little bit of help with the dishes before moving on to put the bars in the oven. After letting them cool to set, I sliced my bars into pieces. The sweet oat topping was delicious, and the inside was perfectly jammy and sweet and tart. It's the evening. I was in a bit of a bad mood, and my baking became a little bit unhinged. I started by mashing up a banana to make some brownie cookies. So far, I get what I was thinking. Chocolate and banana, those two are delicious. But see there? That's me adding a ton of chili powder. Chocolate and chili are good, banana and chili are good, but I'm not sure all three go together, and I wish I could say I stopped there, but I didn't. See, now I'm eating nori, and yes, that seaweed is going into these cookies. And those spicy cookies weren't great, but I'm all for trying the weird stuff. I actually think that the chocolate and seaweed worked well together without the flavor of the banana. And friends, this has been a long video and there's more baking to come. I'm gonna stop now and come back with a part 2. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with more cottage bakes.